Hi, I want to talk to you today about improving your chances of having a successful search when you're buying a CPA practice. We get a lot of buyers who they start just sort of randomly, almost it feels like it's random the way they start looking at practices, and they don't know what they want. And it's pretty obvious after a little bit of working with a buyer that they're not clear about what they want. So in order to increase your success in getting a good firm or getting a good chance of finding the right fit for yourself, we want to give you some pointers about how to go about planning to look for a practice. It's amazing how a little bit of thought ahead of your search will make a big difference in how your search goes. And I'm a big believer that when you know what you want, you're just much more likely to find it. It's pretty amazing. My wife and I bought a house last year, and we were searching for different homes, and we just couldn't quite find one that clicked for us. And so we decided to each go and make a list of everything we wanted, and it was almost amazing how quickly the right house made itself available to us, and it basically checked most of those boxes. And looking for practice is similar. So let's talk about a few things that you need to focus on in order to help you improve your chances of success. First thing is, seems really obvious, but location. Are you willing to relocate? And if you are, what are you looking for in a city? What are you and what does your spouse want in a location? Because there's no point in looking at practices that don't meet that criteria. We've had buyers go all the way to pretty far down the road with a practice and then figure out, well, we really don't want to live in that city. Well, yeah, that would have been helpful for everybody to know that ahead of time. So that's one thing. One thing is, what will you say no to? What are the deal breakers? If the profitability is below a certain point, for example, that's a good thing to know. So setting the parameters about what are three things that just will knock a practice out of contention. Technical skills, your own technical skills are sort of a given. That's pretty commonsensical, but a lot of practices will have a little variety of things in there, and maybe those aren't deal breakers if they're in small percentages, but parameters there about, if you're not an auditor, if you don't have any audit experience, maybe a practice that's got one small audit where the amount is immaterial is not a big deal. So maybe a materiality for those types of things is a good idea to set ahead of time. Also, just your own strengths and weaknesses. Do an inventory of your own strengths and weaknesses, because you want to find a practice where your strengths are similar to the owner's strengths. If you're great at managing a large staff, that's a very different search than, say, someone who really is a good technician but doesn't want a big staff. That's just one example. Seller background is also important. Like, what is your public accounting background? Do you come from a Big Four background, or do you come from a smaller firm background? And it's amazing how a practice, the seller's background is going to have an impact on how that practice is operated. The quality of the files, the way the work papers are organized, the way the client expectations are, the size of the clients, all those things can be impacted by background. So these are just a few things that you want to watch for. And if you'd like to dive deeper into some of these topics, check out our free white paper about choosing CPA practices for sale.